Now, Justice and Constitutional Development Minister Mmamoloko Kubayi has called on parents to fulfill their shared responsibility in order to maintain their children. She was speaking at the Maintenance Matters Community Engagement, which is held in Mfuleni in the Western Cape. Now, Kubayi added that it is not only fathers who have the responsibility to maintain their children, but the law requires both parents to contribute according to their means. For more on this, let's now speak to the department's spokesperson, Terrence Manase. Terrence, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newzroom Afrika. Let's talk about why the minister felt it necessary to dispel, to clear perhaps what is, clearly a wide-held misconception, some would say.
Yeah, thank you, Arabile, for having us. Good morning to you and to the viewers. Let me start by giving a bit of a background. As you would recall, on the 9th, we were tabling a budget vote in Parliament. And as a precursor to that, we had to do what we call build-up activities towards the budget vote. And one of the activities was this outreach program on maintenance matters. And indeed, the minister did speak to this matter, the question that you are raising now. Well, the minister felt compelled to clarify the issue because it strikes at the heart of fairness and justice in our society. There is a persistent misunderstanding that child maintenance is a matter of preference or goodwill rather than a legal and moral obligation. And this simply is not true. So the law is clear, and this is what the minister was saying. Both parents, regardless of gender, are legally responsible for the financial care of their children.
Do you know why this conception or misconception had been held for such a long time in the country? What was it that was creating this, do you feel?
Well, maybe the history of South Africa, where women were subjugated, if you like, for lack of a better word. We grow up with this thing of saying men are the ones who are supposed to be the primary financial contributors towards raising children. So this has since changed with our equality laws. And this is why the minister felt compelled that we need to clarify to the society that both parents are equally responsible for their children.
One must say, though, Terrence, that the gender pay gap is going to be a big part of this conversation then. And that is the real issue at hand here, though, because if incomes are the most important part then in this conversation, if there's no parity in income pay for both women and men, then the misconception is likely to remain in place, surely.
You're absolutely right to raise the issue of the pay parity, the pay gap. It is a systemic challenge that the entire government is working to address. However, Arabile, we must not conflate the obligation to pay maintenance with income disparities. Courts consider each parent's financial circumstances, including their income, when determining maintenance amounts. So the obligation is not equal in rand value, but proportional to means. Still, the broader issue of economic inequality, especially among women, must be addressed. That's why government policies across departments, including employment and labor laws, are being considered to ensure that there is this, we close the gap. But we should not conflate that with the responsibility of parents at this stage.
Yeah. Are you finding that it's happening a lot, though, with perhaps people in the judiciary that you're perhaps speaking to, etc., where mothers perhaps are walking out of court not having received what they initially asked for, demanded, etc., because they didn't understand what was required of them legally? Is that what's happening as well?
Unfortunately, yes, to an extent, this does happen. Many mothers approach our courts with the genuine need need but limited understanding of the legal requirements thereof to support their maintenance claim. This is why the department is investing in public legal education, community outreach, like we did recently with the build-up towards the budget vote, something that we do on a regular basis. We are also simplifying court processes to ensure that this does not happen to many people who come to our facilities.
Let's talk about visitation rights as well, particularly of any parents who are violating court orders. I know the minister specifically spoke about fathers being denied visitation rights then by mothers. Are courts allowing for any kind of recourse to something like that? Is that something that's happening because the responsibilities are just not being felt the same, or that perhaps mothers are feeling that the courts are not working in their favor when it comes to the obligations that fathers need to be putting forward?
Yeah, well, this is an equally serious issue, Arabile. The law recognizes that the best interest of the child includes maintaining a healthy relationship with both parents, where it is safe and appropriate to do so, I must add. If there is a valid court order in place granting a visitation or parenting time, no parent or mother or father has the right to defy that order. It will be tantamount to breaking the law if you do that. Denying access is a form of parental alienation, if you like, and it can be legally challenged by any parent who feels aggrieved in this regard. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's very interesting, because that may be a keen element for somebody. One might say then that they're withholding their paternal duties, whether that be financial or otherwise, because of a lack of visitation rights as well. Can one be justified about the other, or should they both be actually seen as separate and must be upheld separately?
No. We are emphatic on this point that parents or caregivers should not use this financial muscle as a bargain. The interest of the children comes first in this instance. That is why we are saying the law, if you break this order, it's tantamount to breaking the law. But look, you are also putting your children at risk emotionally if you use your financial muscle to bargain. The point that I'm making, that I made earlier on, healthy, both parents contribute to a healthy upbringing of a child. So that is why we are discouraging parents to use this as a bargain for visitation. Example, if you don't pay maintenance, you won't be able to see your child, or by that those things we really discourage them as a department.
Yeah, just very finally, how do we educate families a little bit more here, because each of them having to know what is expected of them then, and it's sad to even put that question out, because you'd think that people would know, but some don't. So perhaps educating people to know what is expected of them in these dynamics then as well, whether it be legally or otherwise.
Arabile, we thank platforms like this that you have given us today to educate the public about these issues. I also indicated we do what we call outreach programs a lot. That's part of educating the public. We work with community-based organizations as well. We go to churches. We use our service points as well to try and educate the public. More can be done. We are constantly looking at innovative ways of making sure that this education reaches the people of South Africa.